everybody. So it has been while since our last video, but I am back with some amazing content related to LLM and AI. So LLM is a large language model. So as we know, in 2022 ending, the ChatGPT was introduced by OpenAI. So LLM models and AI became much popular in the markets. Everybody's talking about and everybody wants to learn about it. But the thing is, people don't know where to start about it. Like, what is AI? What are the subfields of AI? What is generative AI? What is LLM models? And what is the difference between the normal NLP models and LLM models? In which specific field LLM models are used? In which use cases we can use LLM models? How LLM models can make our life easy, our task reduce? So there are many questions. How prompt engineering has become more popular. Everybody wants to do the prompt engineering. So in this video, we will learn about what is generative AI, what are LLM models, what is generative AI. So generative AI refers to a class of artificial intelligence. So it is one of the subclass of an artificial intelligence that can generate new content such as text, images, or other types of data. So other types of data in a sense videos and audios. So, generative AI caught attention starting around November 2022 when ChatGPT was released by OpenAI. So, when ChatGPT was released, everybody started trying LLM models. There were many APIs which were released. Many companies started implementing large language models. So, next, Google and Microsoft released Bart and Big Chat. So now what is AI? Artificial intelligence refers to development of computer systems that can perform tasks that is typically like a human intelligence. So it's one of the definition of artificial intelligence. So this task includes like learning, reasoning, problem solving, understanding natural language, speech recognition, and visual perception, like creating a for an example creating a robot which can do every activity that human beings can do, logically thinking, reasoning, problem solving kind of stuff. So like we use artificial intelligence in our daily life. For an example, in web search we do Google search to find the particular information. That is artificial intelligence we are using in backend. Then we are doing fraud detection. When you're using credit or debit card for your translation of money, the detection is done, like if it is a fraud translation or not. Then recommendation system, which is very famous. Like most of us use online shopping, Amazon, watch movies in like Prime Videos and Netflix, listen to music. So when we log in into that, there are recommendations. Some of them are listed based on the things we watch. So that is recommendation system. That is AI, a part of AI. So this particular thing you can see there are some of the sub models of artificial intelligence, like tools in artificial intelligence or sub models in artificial intelligence. So like we have supervised learning, generative AI, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So in this video we'll be focusing on supervised learning and generative AI. So, in supervised learning, the algorithms learns from the input data by associating it with the corresponding output of the target variable. In simple words, we can take an example of house price prediction. When we are going out to buy a house, we look into various features in the house, like the square foot of the house, then number of bedrooms, and etc. etc. But the main thing which always we are considered is about the price amount of that particular house. So all the features in the house we are having garden or anything that comes, let's consider it as x value, and the price of the house consider it as y value. So x is the features and y is the target value which we are giving to the model. For an example, we are taking 1000 example and giving it a model for the training. So when we uh, give an unseen data, which is not there in the data set, when we give it, it will make an accurate prediction. So you can see it can make accurate predictions or classification when given a new unseen data. So yes, supervised learning, as we have discussed, we are having machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. So machine learning, we have already discussed like house price prediction. So machine learning mostly focuses for the data sets which are type of CSV files or etc., which are tabular data sets. We use mostly machine learning for it. For the deep learning, we use for image, videos, text data sets. In deep learning, mostly example is in everyday we use is like face recognition for our security purpose in our phones. So that's example of deep learning. And then for the classification, like classifying if a image is a dog or a cat example, you can consider it. And then NLP, which is known as natural language pre-processing, it only takes the input as text and output as text data. So you can ask a question, it can give a prediction. For an example, you can ask a question like, for an example, write an article for festivals, it'll give an output. So that is natural language preprocessing. Example of natural language preprocessing, if you ask, is about text generation, text classification, sentimental analysis, like analyzing the review or sentiment of a particular restaurant based on the customer reviews. So here are the examples of supervised learning using machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. So email, it will check like if it is spam or filtering. As you have seen, like if it is spam, it will go to spam folder. Then ads for the user info. If we click it, if for online advertisement. So image, radar info for it comes under deep learning. We using self-driving cars for position of the other cars to find the position of other cars, and then x-ray image for diagnosis to find if you are having any disease or not. It is used in healthcare. Then image of a phone to find if there is some defect or not. For visual inspection, for audio recording, for speech recognition, like who is speaking, and for emotion recognition, listening to the audio to recognize to identify the emotion of that particular person. And restaurant review, like sentimental analysis, which comes in a NLP thing we have discussed, like reputation monitoring based on our customer reviews of that particular restaurant. We can find the like do the marketing. We can come to know how our restaurant performance is going on. So now comes what is LLM. So LLM is a large language models, referred to advanced artificial intelligence models that can design to understand and generate human-like text on large scale. These models are trained on massive amounts of textual data and are capable of performing various natural language preprocessing tasks. So here we have discussed NLP, natural language preprocessing. So LLM models are trained for text data only. So you can ask any question in text and will give output in text. So NLP, we are having NLP for so many years, right? So now I got question like, why should we use LLM models? We are having NLP from. So what is so special about LLM models? So NLP models are like small models. They are trained on very small data set. We can train it on small data set, but LLM models are huge, like big models. They are trained on trillions of data sets. It takes time to train them, but when we use them as a pre-trained models or APIs, like we have famous API, OpenAI, like GPT AI, GPT API we are having, right? So using that API to train LLM models on our small data, it will give more accurate predictions compared to the small models like LSTM and BERT we are having. So that's why LLM models we are using, because it makes predictions more accurate. And if you're making a software for AI, so when before of releasing of LLM models, it used to take around 8 to 1 year to make a software or an app to train the data and do prediction and then cross verification, then verification, etc. etc. But using LLM models, it only takes to make a software and develop and then sell it. It takes around 2 to 3 months, including all the process. So example, I have typed write a essay about the festivals in 50 words in ChatGPT. So it gave such a beautiful and creative description in a 50 words about festivals. So here I wrote about in 50 words, so it gave in 50 words. You can write 500 words, it will give in 500 words. Or instead of essay, you can write paragraph, it will give a paragraph. It's based on the thing, like how you are describing, how you want your output to be. So next, what should I do to treat a headache? So it's saying I'm not a doctor, but here are some general suggestions. It gave me a suggestions, but it confirmed that I'm not a doctor, meaning it is not confident. So when it comes to critical stuff like example healthcare or many other stuffs, like it is better to take doctor advice first. These are just like you can for referral purpose you can use, but it's preferred to take doctor advice. Then LLM models, large language models, what does they do? So writing things, I can ask a question. I ask brainstorm 5 creative names for healthcare project. It's like any AI project which is used in healthcare or any technology related AI project, healthcare project. I mean, so it gives such a beautiful 5 names. Example. So here I asked a question. Write an LOR, letter of recommendation. It gave me a template of LOR. So nice, right? But here I only gave write a LOR. Here I didn't give the information like what is my name, where I want to go, which university I want to go, what I have done, which activities I have done, which projects I have done. That's information I didn't give. So it gave only just a template. So here, write a script for a fantasy story. Here I mention I want a script for a fantasy story. I didn't wrote like write a script for a story or write a script for a story, something like that. So it just randomly chose a fantasy story which it found interesting and wrote a script for it. Then for reading purpose, so writing purpose, we are asking a question like we are giving some task to do it, and it will give, it will write based on that. In reading, we are asking a model. For an example, look into it. In text summarization task. So here, what the ChatGPT, which is LLM model GPT 3.5, it will first read what I am asking. It will read, then it will it will think, and then it will write. So here it is reading, right? Example like grammar correction. I can give a paragraph and ask like to grammatically correct the above paragraph or below paragraph. It will grammatically correct if you are having any grammatical mistakes. It will correct it. Or if you want like suggestions, you can ask for it. So that are kind of reading. And the other thing we are having is chatbot. So for chit chatting, like it will if we give hi, we say how are you, like kind of for chit chat also some and LLM models are there. So you can use for chit chat purpose also, like for customer service, for like customer service bots are there. For that also LLM models are used. So LLM models are mostly used for writing, reading, and then chatting, like for chatbot. So we have discussed like what LLM models can do. Now let's discuss what LLM models cannot do. So it cannot write a complete LOR until you mention the needed information. So it gave me a template of LOR. So uh, if it didn't give the template also, it will have asked please give the detailed information of it. So it's just like it is not always comfortable to give your personal information to an LLM model which is open source, available. That's one constraint. Second is no memory of previous tasks um, completed. So here it is. If I ask a model to write a Python code for adding two arrays, basic code, it will write it. The task is completed. Then I will ask, write the Python code to subtract two arrays. But it will write, make it in different code. But I need both the codes in one file only. And then what I can write is, it's not having the things of the task which is completed above, right, before. So I can like for above code, write code for Python code for subtracting the two errors. Next, an LLM knowledge of the world is frozen at the time of its training. So when LLM models were training, it is the knowledge is frozen. So the model is having the latest knowledge which is last is Jan 2022. So if you ask about the current affairs or current news or anything, it can't predict it. Like it cannot write it because it's not trained on it. So it has limited information which is only till 2022 of January. So that is one constraint. Making things up hallucination. When you don't give your input properly, or sometimes you don't give your discrimination description entirely, it might get hallucination which are not in reality. So like if you're asking something, it is better to have some basic information for it, so that if you're doing, you might not be fooled by it. So it will make it good, right? So making things up hallucinations. So next thing is limited input and output. So for text summarization example, like PDFs, you can't give 2 to 3 files input together, right? Because there's some constraint. You can give like 1000 or 2000 words and max. After that, ChatGPT only says that um it is more than limit. Please rewrite the question. It will say. So limited input is there and limited output is there. So you have to go page by page for like for 1000 words you can ask. Then it will generate for this. It will summarize that 1000 words into 500 words or 50 words. Your wish. So limited input and output is there. Or otherwise you have to say when it is output is generated, please continue the above code which is mentioned to continue the process. And one more constraint which like I observed was in general news, like if you are searching for people who are popular in ChatGPT or asking for the biography. For an example, I ask who was the mother of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It will give Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as well as his mother's name. But when I know his mother's name and who is the name, like who is the person I asked, it will not give the output saying that it has no memory of it, or last trained on Jan 2022 it will be showing, because like it is having data of all the people which are popular, like famous. So it knows that particular person as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's mother. It is not known as that particular person. So that constraints are also there when it comes to general or you know a biography content or news. So that's all. Thank you. I hope you liked it. Please comment, like, comment, and subscribe. So, if you are having any suggestions or like which LLM models you want to learn about, you can write it in the comment. So, I will make the video. So, like in upcoming weeks, I'll be making as many as LLM videos as I can. So, please wait patiently for my next video. Bye.